please accept my very sincere apology from myself and the team for joining you late for this presser. We had scheduled it for 10 o'clock, but our discussions took a little longer than we had anticipated. This morning we have received a delegation from FIFA, and this delegation is led by Mr. Gelson Fernandes, who is the Director for Africa, the FIFA Director for Africa, responsible for Africa, together with a representative of CAF, the Confederation of African Football. I'm going to leave the honors of introducing that whole delegation to Mr. Fernandes himself, who will introduce the delegation he's accompanied here with, but it's a joint delegation of FIFA and CAF. Mr. Fernandes himself is a football man, besides being now administrator of football at FIFA. He has played at 3 World Cups and played 70 caps for Switzerland, having played at the South Africa 2010 World Cup, Brazil 2014, and Russia 2018. So he's a real football man himself. He can say one or two things about football. Could one of us just pull these windows so that we screen the noise a bit from the room? Now, we have had an extremely candid, open, and I do believe beneficial conversation with this FIFA CAF joint delegation. In our conversation, number one, we have congratulated FIFA for hosting a very successful 21st World Cup in Qatar, a World Cup which we believe has really cemented the mantra of FIFA of making the game truly global, and a truly epic final between Argentina and France. We have also thanked FIFA for listening to our plan on reviving football that led to the lifting of the suspension that had been placed on Kenyan football. Number 3, we have discussed areas of partnership between Kenya, FIFA, and CAF. Among the things we have impressed upon both FIFA and CAF is that we want to see more robust involvement of Kenya in continental and global football activities. We want to see more Kenyan coaches trained and their capacity built. And we have agreed with FIFA that we are going to see a broader program to train Kenyan coaches to elite level. We want a good number of Kenyan elite coaches. We have also asked both CAF and FIFA that we want to see more Kenyan referees in international football games. We lost out at the Qatar World Cup for the Kenyan referees that had been identified to participate in that tournament because of the suspension. But we have now asked FIFA and CAF that for the upcoming competitions, we would be happy to see more Kenyan referees. We have discussed football development, and we have made it very clear to both CAF and FIFA that Kenyan football is at the bottom of the bottom. You know, bottom of the bottom, we are there. Where you are so bottom, you cannot go any lower. We have hit the rock bottom. But the good thing is that when you are at the bottom, there is no place to go than up. And so we have made it clear to FIFA and CAF, Kenya is at the bottom, and we want to go up. And so we have agreed on certain targets to help Kenya get back to the football high table. And so we have discussed a number of projects. One of those projects is developing youth football. putting emphasis on youth football. We have actually told FIFA and CAF that Kenya is going back to the basics. That to get our football where we want it to be, we are going back to the basics. The basics for us is youth football, is grassroots football. We want to go back to the grassroots and to grow talent from the very bottom. Among the things that we have already put in place, as you know, is that next month we are flagging off the bottom-up grassroots football program, where we want to see competition starting from the ward to the constituency to the county to the national level, culminating in a final game that will be played on Jamhuri Day on December 12th this year. And that is going to be an annual program targeting players below the age of 19. 19 will be our cutoff age for that bottom-up football program under our Talanta Hela program. We have also discussed how to consolidate football in our schools, both primary and secondary schools. And we have agreed with FIFA that we are going to initiate a program to funnel talent from the school ball games into a program where that talent can be grown through our academy and other platforms. We also want to see the expansion of the Kenya Academy of Sports so that it can be a real academy and not just an academy in name, because right now it's just an academy in name. And so it's an academy we want to see more robust here nationally, but most importantly, we want to spread that academy across the country so that every part of this country can be part of the Academy of Sports to nurture talents. Our Talanta Hela program is going to be the signature project in this talent development program, and it's going to be both physical in terms of making sure that we send scouts and coaches across the country, making sure that we work with the Ministry of Education to pick up talent from the school programs, but also deploying the digital space. Talanta Hela will run largely on the digital platform, where you can record a player in Wajir, in Budalangi, in Shimoni, put the clip on a platform, and we'll have a number of coaches seated at Kasarani who will be poring over these clips 24 hours to help us also in that process of identifying talent. Those are some of the projects that we have discussed with FIFA and CAF. We have also discussed upgrading of our infrastructure, our facilities. Right now, there isn't a single stadium in Kenya that can host a FIFA CAF game. Not even Kasarani, not even Nyayo. And we have agreed with FIFA and CAF that we are going to collaborate, we are going to work together to raise the standards of our facilities to international standards. And in that respect, FIFA and CAF have agreed to extend technical support so that next time you see us touch any facility, next time you see us construct any stadia or any stadium, is going to be in the context of a master plan on development of facilities with the involvement or input of FIFA's technical support. The same thing we did with World Athletics for facilities for athletics. We are going to do the same with FIFA in terms of developing football, customized football facilities. And I'm happy that FIFA has shared some programs which they are already running and which we have indicated we are very keen to see happening here. One of those programs is called Coach on the Ground. Coach on the Ground, and is a program of making sure that we have well-trained, technical, competent coaches at the grassroots, trained by FIFA. I have, for instance, asked FIFA that all teachers who train our children during the primary and secondary school ball games should be teachers who have been trained and certified by FIFA. then they will help us to really, really develop those talents in schools. So we are very interested in this program of Coach on the Ground, and we have asked FIFA to extend that support. Football for Schools is another program that FIFA is running. Again, another program we see as being very useful and would be in sync with our Talanta Hela program of developing football from the grassroots. FIFA Connect program and such other areas of support have also been explored in our meeting. Finally, we have discussed the situation of the Football Kenya Federation, FKF, and we have made two important points that I would want to make public here. Number one, we have assured FIFA and CAF that the government of the Republic of Kenya is not interested in being involved in direct management of football. It is not the business of the government to run football. Football has got its own infrastructure to manage affairs of football. What this government will do, the government led by William Samoei Ruto, who has given me the responsibility as his cabinet secretary to manage this space. This government is only interested in one thing: creating an enabling environment for football to run effectively. And that enabling environment includes making sure that we have proper laws, we have proper policies to make sure that those who run football effectively. We want to attract sponsorship into football. We are talking to those who can live broadcast football so that our football can be out there as part of marketing the talents we have in this country. But when it comes to the actual running of football, we want those who run football to run football. What government will do is to give you an enabling environment. And so we have given the assurance that you are not going to see this government interfere in the affairs of the Football Federation. But I have placed a big but before FIFA and CAF that even as we give our guarantee, we give our word that you are not going to see interference by government in the affairs of FKF, we expect FKF to live by certain irreducible minimum values. Number one is good governance. FKF cannot run as if it's an island. FKF is part of the overall Kenyan ecosystem. So they must make sure that even as we expect everybody to run their institutions on the tenets of good governance, FKF must also obey the values of good governance. FKF must live by the value of accountability. You must be accountable. Government gives FKF resources, FIFA gives FKF resources, CAF supports FKF, FKF must be accountable for those resources. FKF must be transparent in its operations, in the way you use resources, in the way you select teams, in the way you run your affairs. You must be transparent. You must be democratic in the way you conduct the affairs of the federation. So while government is not interested in interfering in the management of FKF, government expects FKF to live by these irreducible minimum values: good governance, accountability, transparency, and democratic ideals. We believe that if that is done, government will do its bit of creating an enabling environment, FIFA and CAF will do their bit of supporting, and FKF will do their bit of managing football effectively and transparently. Finally, we have told FIFA and CAF that we have a long-term program of taking Kenyan football to the high table, the continental and global high table. It's a long-term program. We don't expect immediate results because this is not instant coffee. It's going to be long, it's going to be arduous, we are going to be patient. But we have set certain targets along that long journey. Number one, we have made it clear to FIFA and CAF that we are bidding to host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. And that as we start that journey to prepare our bid for AFCON 2027, we expect FIFA and CAF to provide any support that is within their means to support our bid for AFCON 2027. We have also made it clear to FIFA and CAF that at the very minimum, we expect Harambee Stars to play at the 2030 World Cup. We are shooting for 2030, but we could actually land on 2026. If we land on 2026, we will not refuse to go, we'll go. But realistically, we are shooting for 2030, and we also want to walk the journey with FIFA and CAF towards that goal. In all these targets, we'll be developing both men and women football. We actually believe that Kenya has a great chance for our women to appear at the World Cup, perhaps even ahead of our men. So we are going to be investing in both men and women football. So as we revive Harambee Stars, we will also be very strongly reviving the Harambee Starlets, our women team. I'm happy that FIFA is in town. They have started here. They have a longer program. They'll interact with other football stakeholders. And I'm just happy that now, in a long time, or after a long time, the government of the Republic of Kenya, FIFA, and CAF, we are aligned in terms of the vision we have for football for this country and in terms of what needs to be done. And whatever has to be done will be done to make sure that Kenyan football gets back on its feet. Allow me now to invite Gelson to make some remarks and also to introduce the delegation that has accompanied him. Gelson was a good host for all of us in Doha for the World Cup. I should thank you in public for being a good host. You're welcome.